Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So we're going to talk about angles in boxing. And angles have a lot to do with placement in boxing, but they have a whole lot more to do with every other aspect we talked about, from positioning and stance to movement to timing to, like we were saying, placement. Every aspect of boxing involves angles. And if you look right here in this photograph right here, the stance of the boxer, even if he's southpaw or orthodox, has to do with the angle from the vertical, or what is known as the true line. Okay? So a good boxer, he keeps his head outside the line of fire at all times. Okay? And his body is also positioned out the line of fire. Okay? That's one. Now this, let's consider that line as the y-axis. Let's consider the horizontal line here as the z-axis. And the horizontal line that runs through this guy's body going out this way, out the video and into the video, let's call that the x-axis, shall we? Alright, so if we're looking at it here, they have it as different values, don't worry about that. This is the x-axis going out and into the video, the z-axis is across, and the y-axis is above. Remember, this is three-dimensional space, so you're going to have multiple angles of approach. If we're looking at the angle that's made with the y-axis, which is the vertical, this guy is at probably 15 to 20 degrees from the y-axis. Keeps his head outside the line of fire. Okay? And when he's throwing punches, he may either move this way or that way. He may move across the line, but he never stays on the line. Okay? Now, if you're looking from above, this is what it looks like. Here we just seen the guys with their gloves and not seeing their feet. The red is the gloves. Okay? This is orthodox versus southpaw. Okay? Orthodox versus southpaw. The southpaw is this guy. See, he's strong hand here. This is the orthodox here. This is the southpaw again, orthodox. Okay, now let's talk about it. If you're looking from above, then you're looking down the y-axis. Okay? Down the y-axis. So the angles of approach can change, as in this case, this guy, he threw a jab. That's why the red dot is away from the big circle. So he threw a jab, and this guy is going to try and counter that jab by going around it. Okay? And this is one approach. Now, this guy, he has to sort of slip to the side. So he has to move 45 degrees to the his original position. Here, along the y-axis, if you, or I would say this is down the x-axis, sorry. This is not the y-axis. You're seeing it from above, so this is the x-axis, sorry, pardon me. But along the x-axis, if this guy slips this way, now he's open to the midline of his opponent. Okay, so if he was to move 45 degrees, say, to his left, now he actually is open for a straight right from his opponent, but he also can provide a straight right or a right hook to his opponent. So by going on the inside of his opponent, moving to his left 45 degrees, he can open out himself and his opponent. And if he can be first, he can get to his opponent before his opponent gets to him. Alright? Then angles are important for footwork. As you can see right here, there are different footworks here that you're watching at. And, of course, angles are involved there. Alright? So you just have to look at the midline here, which would probably be the y-axis in this case. And you can see this is the perfect foot position, but other angles are not. So this is probably 60 degrees or thereabouts to this foot position, or it is like 80 or almost 90 degrees to the y-axis, and this one is about like maybe 30 degrees to the y-axis. Okay. Okay, so angles also very important for elevation. So in this case, this gentleman here, he's punching downwards to this guy. He's punching downwards at an angle, probably 20 degrees to the vertical, to the horizontal. While this guy's throwing a jab, he's jabbing to the pit. You can have where he goes low and jabs up to the head. That's at an angle of probably 20 to 30 degrees from the horizontal. So basically, you can have also angles of elevation or of de-elevation. decline. Okay, so you also have all those angles. You have angles for throwing punches, like we said, angles for foot movement and pivoting. Here we have footwork. Okay, so you can approach your opponent at different angles. Okay, some more stuff here. Show you some more stuff here. And here, when you're looking at range of opponent, like somebody who's a counter puncher, you have to be careful how close you come to them. So there are different ranges or different zones for which you have to be careful with. The safe zone is outside of their range if they're a counter puncher. And you need to know the different angles they can approach you at, but usually you try to stay outside of the danger zone. Okay, so angles are very important in boxing. And there are many scenarios you have to think about. Some of them I think I covered before. And you can see some really good instances right here. If you watch this, here this guy, he's moving back and out the range of this guy who's hooking. Here he's going to block that hook and roll it. Okay, here's a guy changing levels to attack this guy. He probably stabbed him to the pit first, so he's protecting his pit to open up for the head. This is what I was talking about when changing levels. This guy here, he's punching upward. This guy's trapping it. In close fighting, the angles are more acute, shorter punches. Okay, just so much stuff to talk about here. Yeah, this is Pacquiao doing that looping left. He has a left hook. Gonna catch Bradley. He went low, but he hooked tightly. Short, compact hook coming up high. He loops it very well, so you don't even see it. Alright, so there are a number of different other things to talk about here, but I'm not going to waste my time talking about all of them. I think you guys can get a pretty decent idea of the different angles in boxing. Here's a nice one right here. This is going to be a overhand right. Overhand right comes from here, loops up and hits the guy in his head. Alright, so there's just many different angles and approaches and strategies you must use in boxing. Alright, this is the practicing of the hook from above. It looks really beautiful because you're able to see how the boxer puts the leverage into his hook, the angles all around. From the hip it comes and he turns it into the shot, which is at a 90-degree angle. So there's so much to say about boxing, but suffice it to say, you guys are enjoying a lot of different things about boxing, and one of the important things in boxing is angles. They're very critical as to how your outcome in a boxing match will turn out. See, angles, always angles. See, he pulled back, so he's at an angle to this vertical line here. Okay? Alright, you guys, you have a great day.